Welcome to the long-awaited tour of my ultra-compact creator studio. I went ahead and measured everything out in here. It is a 13.5 by 10 foot space, so right around 135 square feet, which is actually very compact. This is somehow still larger than the last office was. So entering the studio here, we have right up front these two framed artworks from Posterlad. I just really liked having this pop of color the second that you enter the space. The first thing that I like to do when I start my day is I come over to the whiteboard here. As a full-time creator, this is kind of my mission control in a lot of ways. I keep track of the brand deals that I'm working on, long form projects. Usually this bottom whiteboard is much more filled out with either my weekly schedule or a full to-do list for specific projects that I might be working on. And this is super useful for me, being able to have like a physical space that I need to go and cross my tasks off as I do them. I've tried doing like digital to-do lists before, and like sometimes I can keep up with it, but I find that the physical whiteboard is like way easier to manage for myself. And the whiteboards themselves are from IKEA. They were like $17 or something like that. Like they're super cheap. The other really important part of this little nook area here is this battery charging cart setup. We have the Rodecaster Duo paired with the Rode PodMic, which is the audio setup that I use for most of my videos. Shout out Rode. They just picked me as their tech and gear reviewer of the year. So thank you, Rode. Love you guys. And what's nice about this is obviously you can roll it around to be anywhere in the studio. So no matter which way I'm trying to film, I have my whole audio setup that can come with me. And then down below, we have a section for charging camera batteries, but pretty much everything that I need to do to charge a device is built into this cart. Okay, so moving this way now, we have a part of the studio that you guys almost never see. A little bit of movie magic. This is obviously a very compact room, so by not ever showing this back wall, it definitely creates a bit more of an elongated look, which is very intentional. Up top, we have the impact backdrop system, and I use this all the time for product B-roll. The closet setup is really important in this space. One of the main things I was looking for is this closet is like over twice as large for storage as the previous studio that I was working in. We have a whole section on the side for my backpacks. I have the DB Journey 21 liter Ramver, 25 liter Hugger. And then we have these plastic bins from IKEA. These are mostly for just storing camera related stuff. In the middle section of the closet here, we have these two IKEA shelves. These things are goated. I'm such a fan. I had one in the previous space and they are so good. I decided to just pick a second one up. On this side, anytime I have like an unreleased phone or laptop or some type of product that I'm going to be making content on, this is kind of the staging area here in this empty section. And then down below, we have boxes for products that I already have shot content on. If you didn't know, I'm a big F1 guy. Huge McLaren fan, huge F1 fan, have been for the past like 6 years or so. We have the Analog Pocket, one of my favorite little retro modern gaming things, and Pokemon Silver in there, my favorite Pokemon, Lugia, and a retro Game Boy Color here. Really cool Pokemon edition one. And then the other shelf here is maybe the most important one. On this section, I have all of my camera equipment. The main camera setup, the one that you're seeing me on right now, Sony ZV-E1. I'm shooting this on the Laowa 10mm f2.8, so super wide lens that like you get this like really wonky distortion. This section at the very bottom here is kind of the newest addition here. I recently got a new 3D printer, the Bamboo Lab X1 Carbon. This is like a creative playground if you're into the 3D printing space. All right, and then on the last section of the closet here, if you don't know, I'm really into basketball. Huge Lakers fan. Huge LeBron fan. Most nights, if I'm just like chilling, relaxing, I'm probably watching a basketball game. This side here is really just like more for rolling storage. So I have the Amran F22C up top. I just have like the spotlight attachment. This is mostly just for storing like the production, like the lighting and the stands and stuff. I feel so happy to have this section of the studio. Being able to keep the floor empty and have room to move around as I please was definitely a goal of mine, and this is how I'm able to accomplish that. Moving on, we have the A-roll setup. Filming in this room is actually quite difficult. As you'll see, there's a ton of natural light, which is constantly changing throughout the day. So one of the biggest struggles that I was trying to figure out when we moved in here is like, how can I shoot into the room and have it look as good as possible? And the solution that I came up with was this. So I'm using one of the old rolling desks that I had in the previous studio. This is from Branch. It's like a 48 by 24 inch desk, I want to say. So it's pretty compact. And then I picked up this newer bar situation that just clamps onto the desk, and it is height adjustable. What's nice about this is it's the perfect length for this light bar that I had from, I want to say LoomCube is the brand. I used 2 magic arms to secure it to the frame, and then I have the ability now to light the entire desktop and myself when I'm sitting at this. The camera just pops in here when I want to film, and so every time I sit down to film, it's always framed exactly the same way. And then this desk is on wheels here. I'm able to just like roll this around anywhere that I want in the office. This is how I get most of the B-roll that I shoot of products, because this can go pretty much anywhere. Moving on, we have the most important part of the office in my opinion, which is the desk setup. I did a ton of research on different desk brands, but what I was finding is most companies, they go to like 60 inches or 70 inches. Autonomous though, I think this is the Smart Desk 5. They were kind enough to send this out to me, and I love this desk. It has this really nice sloped front edge, and then it is 55 by like 30 something deep. So it's a little deeper and definitely a little bit wider than the previous that I was using. But this desk is like so solidly built. Like legitimately, this is one of the nicest built desks that I've ever used. This monitor stand is from a company called Ryko. They're pretty interesting. I've never really heard of them, and it seems like a Grove-made alternative. They're not super cheap. It's still a little bit pricey, but I just liked having this kind of wood accent to the white desk, and then you still have like the white legs here. The desk mat here, I've been getting a lot of questions. It is the Black Snail. I found it on KBD Craft, KBD fans. Shout out to George Powell. I think that's how you say his name. He was the first guy that I saw using this. I use the Apple Magic keyboard and a Logitech MX Master 3S. I love this mouse. I was using the Apple Magic mouse for the longest time, which is not very good. So I finally upgraded to the 3S. And then I have the M3 Max MacBook Pro as my day-to-day daily driver, Apple Studio display. And what's cool about this monitor stand is you have these metal mounts. There's like a rail underneath that you can put accessories. So I use an iPad mini as kind of like a secondary screen. The chair is from Branch. It's okay. I'm probably gonna just get a new one. And then obviously, because this desk is a standing desk, we have our automatic presets that we can use. It is a game changer for me. I will oftentimes have this raised when I'm working on my video edits later on in the evening. And then we have this kind of metal and cork pull-out tray here. So just more storage on the desktop. If I'm reviewing multiple different phones at once, a lot of times the secondary one will just slide in here because there's a whole space cut out for it. I also have a bunch of different lamps in the studio because I'm not a believer in overhead light. This was a Amazon pickup that I think Lo talked about in like an old vlog like a year or two ago. Oh, and then another thing I wanted to say too is when I'm working in the studio here, I do have shades that can come down from the window, but they aren't blackout shades. If I'm filming content in certain lighting conditions, I can't black out the light in here to have it be exactly how I want it to be. And that's like the one knock on the space that I have is there's no room to properly install blackout curtains. You often have to just kind of wait for the proper lighting conditions when you want to shoot. And then of course, we're going to talk about the shelves. So these are probably the thing that people ask about the most, and definitely where I was able to fit a lot of the hobbies and personality into the space. Obviously have the 100K subscriber plaque, one of my prized possessions in life. If the fire alarm or something goes off in here, I need to get out in a hurry. That's literally one of the things that I think to grab, just because, you know, your whole life as a creator, like you probably dream of having something like that. In most of the lights in the entire home, but specifically in the studio, I'm using Philips Hue bulbs, so I can have a really nice smart home setup. If you know me and you know my channel, you know I love iOS apps. So this one is cool. It's the iOS app icon book, and it has kind of a visual history of throughout the years, major companies and the designs that they've done for their app icon and art. And there's like interviews with developers and stuff. So obviously I do the hidden gems of the App Store series. So I like having this one up on display. This is still the Gen 1 HomePod, and it is the bassiest, just like best sounding home assistant speaker that I've personally still used. So until something better comes out, that's the system that I go with. We have a bit of an interesting item. I have never seen this in someone else's setup before. This is the Nintendo Alarmo clock. It's just like this really pretty pop of red color that I liked, and it's just, I don't know, it's kind of whimsical. It's like, why not, right? A lot of people ask me about this MagSafe charger that I get. It's from a company called Getry.io. I think they're based out of Korea, and it's just this really interesting MagSafe charger for the iPhone, or I guess for the Pixel now too, where you have 2 Qi charging pads. I like to use it for display when I'm shooting B-roll now. And then a really interesting part of the shelf here that people probably have never seen or know, I have this stack of National Geographic magazines magazines. This is from June 1975. It's just fun to look through these because it's like a time capsule. And then up top here, we have a GameCube and the Donkey Kong bongos. I just put those up there because I think they look cool. But the GameCube was definitely my favorite era of console, and most people who are watching this have no clue. I'm gonna put you in on some more Will lore here. I actually came up online through the competitive Smash Bros. Melee scene. I guarantee only the real true OGs actually know that about me, but I used to travel all the way around the US, compete in this on like a monthly basis. I wasn't necessarily the best when it came to tournament placings, but when you're active in the competitive scene, you're just way better at the game than casuals will ever be. I don't play as much anymore, but it's still nice to kind of have that part of me front and center here in the studio. We have the Labubus here, but the reason I have them up here on display is it's a real nice memory from my Taiwan trip that I took with Asus earlier this year, which is still one of the best brand trips that I've personally gone on. I also have this really nice calendar here that I found from the MoMA art store. I have the day of the week, the month, and then the date here. So it's fun in the morning to just like pop over to the next one, almost like a little advent calendar for just changing the day of the week. And then this is a basket bowl. It's like this like pottery bowl from a company called Odd One Out. They also make the Nike concrete shoe candle that I have here. Down below here, I have a lamp from Gantry. I'm just gonna be honest with you, their stuff is so overpriced for what it is. I really like how it looks. Like they make it with like this plant-based 3D printed material, but if I'm being completely honest with you, I can probably print something similar out on my printer now, but it looks great. And then next to that, we have the aluminum folder from Blank Studios, which is a company started by a good friend of mine, Brandon Wayne. And what I use this for is the different smartphones that I'm testing at any given time. It fits 3 of them in there really nicely. Kobe Bryant book, Mamba mentality, super integral to like how I do my work. Have my pothos plant, which is growing quite a bit. Another IKEA lamp, pop of color here. Have the Lego Porsche 911. Like I said, I'm a huge motorsport guy, so like a lot of people, the Porsche is just like the pinnacle of design and luxury and like practicality in like the world of motorsport. Have a 8BitDo arcade stick, similar to like my Smash upbringing. I also played a bunch of Street Fighter and I just like fighting games in general, so it's nice to be able to play on the stick. And then of course we have the framed, kind of blown apart iPhone 1. The original iPhone is still one of the most important products to come out in my lifetime. It really set the world on like a new path that has allowed me to build a career off of talking about these types of devices. But I'm honestly so happy with how the shelves and honestly the whole space came together after really planning everything out, and I am so inspired to just come in here and work every day. But if you have any specific questions about the space that maybe I glanced over or forgot about, definitely let me know down below and I'll make sure to respond to as many of those comments as I possibly can. Expect way more long form coverage from me in the coming months as I have some really exciting trips coming up right around the corner. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. See ya.